Welcome to this week's episode of Your Stock Request for the 19th of September. Hi, I'm Michael Gable, Managing Director at Fairmont Equities. Your Stock Request is the weekly video where I take your requests and analyse the share price charts. So this week we have Accent Group, Megaport, Grange Resources, APA Group and Adriatic Metals. So if you have a request, please send it through. Make sure you've signed up to the free newsletter, but my best recommendations come out on Tuesday in the Dynamic Investor Report, so make sure you're getting that report. But if you do enjoy these videos, I'd love you to share them on social media or even leave us a review. Our main business is in portfolio management, so if you'd like my personal help now with your share portfolio, then please give me a call. And the advice here is general only. So this is the weekly chart of AX1. If we have a look at what it's done over the past year, still showing a trend. I mean, we've got sort of this uptrend, but you know, there is quite a bit of heightened volatility in the past few weeks, which is, you know, a bit of a concern. If we have a look at the daily chart, we could see here that it sort of ran hard to a new high and then it got slammed, struggled to go anywhere, it's run hard up again. So, you know, look, not ideal. It'd be nicer to see some, you know, a bit of a smoother run, but we did see some good volume coming in on the way up. So look, that is a positive. I think it looks like a hold for now, given the volatility. It's a bit hard to pinpoint an exact buy point at this stage. Megaport, so as we could see, it's been trending lower since March. So yeah, in the short term, you know, maybe we could say it's sort of leveling out. You know, maybe that's potentially the precursor to a little small bounce, but you know, that's all we could see at the moment with this. There's just no signs yet that we're seeing any you know, sort of proper buy signals. So I think the risk for this one is still to the downside. Grange, so you know, also I'll just move to the weekly. So pretty poor price action since 2022. So you've had, you know, sort of a run up and a sharp sell down. Looks like a head and shoulders, broke that comprehensively. Obviously tried to rally at some point, but just failed. Then it sort of sat on 40 cents, but you know, it wasn't forming a base because you were getting the lower highs, and then it broke. So, you know, poor price action, still trending lower. I mean, even looking at the daily, there's nothing there that looks interesting at all. So unfortunately, it's yeah, another one where the risk is still to the downside. APA, so if we have a look at the weekly, I mean, most recently we had what looked like a support level here, which just recently it sort of broke under, gave a little retest and then fell further. But it is bouncing here. We could see it on the daily. So if I switch to the daily, a fairly decent bounce. So it looks like it wants to get back up to this old support zone and retest it. So I think what we need to do is see what happens when it gets up here. If it can get up here and congest under it and break above that, then that would be potentially a buy signal. But yeah, still early days. We just need to see what it wants to do. And finally, Adriatic Metals. So just looking at the weekly, obviously really poor price action for the past few months there. Now it looks like it's trying to find some support. So we had a bounce, pull back for a couple of weeks, and then this sort of bullish engulfing candle here was a positive, but still very volatile. You know, if I just sort of zoom out, so this is the daily chart. So just, you know, still again, just looking here, you know, price action is pretty volatile compared to what we've seen in the past. So I think ideally what you'd want is, you know, we've got a, you know, sort of bounce here. If we can come back and give us another higher low, so we've got one higher low, and come back and give us another higher low, then we can get a little bit more confident that it does have some sort of low in place and it's getting ready to head higher. Okay, well that's all for this week. If you have a request, send it through and I'll try to cover it next Thursday.